Super excited. Recording for everybody. For those that do not make it and have prior engagements or eating dinner, rocking the baby, building a boat, whatever you're doing, this is going to be an amazing time here tonight. Of course, you see my good friend, partner, and wizard, all things, everything. He's a Renaissance man. But we've got Doug Kyle in the house tonight. Peter will be joining us in a little bit. But if you guys were on the last Zoom we had on our DFY Done For You airdrop update call, most recently you heard what MetaForge is and what the idea behind it is, what it's going to be doing, how to get involved, all those things. But we got overwhelmed with a bunch of questions and a lot of excitement. And we came in together and said, we've got to have another call because there's just too much excitement and a lot of members have responded. And personally, I cannot wait. I am absolutely thrilled. And I think it was Doug that said at one time, it's you're pioneering a land or you're pioneering something new in the universe, and you not often do you get to take advantage of that space. We'll call it in quote unquote space or opportunity. And literally, this is space that is uncharted. And how many times can you say that you get to capitalize on that? And here we are. For a lot of people, it's like living in the future now. But you absolutely are with the best team and the best technology and the best devs and the best leaders. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to our fearless leader, Mr. Doug Kyle. How you doing, Doug?
I'm doing good, brother. It's been windy here today, and my allergies have kind of kicked up. We had like 25-mile-an-hour winds today.
Wow.
So you'll have to excuse my voice a little bit. But how many people were not on the call that I did where I did the slideshow and presentation? If you weren't, give us a one in the chat. Let me know who wasn't here or who doesn't even know what we're talking about, basically. That would be a good thing. Let me get the chat up if I can, because I do like to see what we're talking about. Okay, perfect. Okay. So guys, Corey, I think you led into this really well, brother, because we'll go through the slides in a second, but I first want to talk, kind of from a broader perspective so that everybody can kind of get this idea. You kind of were hinting at the kind of the concept that if you were to go somewhere, a new planet that nothing existed on, but you knew that within a very short time, millions and millions of people were going to come to that planet. Now, if that were the case, and you were the first person basically there, what would you do? You have everything at your option. Well, I gave an example on one of my talks. It's like everybody watched the TV series Yellowstone, right? And when they came across the country, they founded this beautiful, beautiful, massive ranch. As far as you could see from one mountain to another mountain, they owned all that land. My great-grandfather didn't do that, okay? And I think most of us, we weren't around to take advantage of that. But we're around tonight or right now to take advantage of that exact, I feel like it's that exact same scenario in Otherverse, right? And you think about, okay, and let's just look at my cord got stuck underneath, I apologize. Let's just think about one, first time to a planet that nobody else is on. That's really where we are, because really nobody's built anything inside Otherverse, and really Brian, right? He's built basic things to give us an idea of what can be, okay? So we're really the first people on the planet. But we're not only the first people on the planet, we're on the planet with the person that owns the planet, okay? And that's Brian, right? And Brian, we had great talks today on launching the token for Brian, and we're launching the NFTs that we're talking about tonight, and we're launching the Euthix token here real soon. So we're doing a lot of things together. And now you think of everybody that's in the world. How many people are in the world today? Couple billion, I don't know. There's a big number, right? But look how small. How many? 7?
About 7 billion.
7 billion. How many people are on this call? A few dozen, and there'll probably be a few hundred watch the call afterwards. Out of 7 billion people, we are the people that get to put together building properties and selling quantum real estate in Otherverse. Out of 7 billion people, we're the first people on the planet. And then we get to go to Brian like we did and say, hey, buddy, what do you think about letting us build a convention center? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, right? What do you think about us building a convention center? And he goes, I like that idea. Okay. Well, what do you think about us starting another company and us have, some of us be able to be in that company? And how about all of our friends and families and the people that we know and love and that have been very faithful to us and following us and being part of everything that we've done, the good, bad, and the ugly, right? Let's just be honest. Okay. Everything that we've done. How about blessing them too and letting them be part of building the convention center? In fact, actually owning a square footage of the convention center, right? So they can make money as we rent out the convention center and stuff. And once we're done with that, Brian, what do you think about us starting other things, maybe like an esports center and maybe a lot of other things that we can build and do, and we can all be part of owning? Because again, my grandfather didn't found Yellowstone, but my great grandkids are going to say my great grandfather founded part of the Otherverse, right? And I own part of the convention center because of what my great grandfather did. Or I own part of the esports center. Or I own part of everything because of what my great grandfather did, right? And you guys are in that same boat, but we're going to benefit in our lifetime, right? We're going to benefit in our lifetime because the masses will be coming to the metaverse space. And we already know that and see that by the response we had. So let's go through. Corey, any questions, any thoughts before I dive into the slideshow?
Absolutely not. I am excited to hear what you got, buddy.
All right, let's rock and roll. Let me share my screen. We should be good. You guys should be seeing the screen.
We got you.
Okay, I'm going to go through this, guys, and I'm going to try to touch on concepts, and I'm going to try to touch on things maybe that I left out in the first presentation. So hopefully there's some new stuff here for us too. So let's dive in here. What we're looking at right now is a concept of a convention center. I'm going to go through how this convention center is going to work, how the elements of the convention is going to work, how the current NFTs are going to work, and how future NFTs that we will come out with will work as we move forward, okay? So when we look at this, it's MetaForge Group. That's what we are. That's what's bringing this to you. That's what you're going to be part of when you do the NFTs and part of that convention center that MetaForge Group is going to develop, and that has already begun to plan out and work on that development of that convention center. The key here is just what I was talking about. It's an impossible business model, right? When we think of where we are right now, and I live in Prescott, right, or Dewey, Arizona, Prescott area, I look at all the land around me. Ron Fain, a guy that I know and gone to dinner and lunch with a number of times, his great-grandfather bought all this land. He owns everything that we can see. There's another guy that owns all the land on the other side of Ron's property. And both of those two families own everything, right? Well, when I say it's an impossible business model, what we're talking about is that we have the opportunity to be part of that thing that is new, and that we can be part of owning something that couldn't have existed 2 years ago, right? Or I think it really at the level that we're at right now, I don't think it existed 6 months ago, right? Because Brian is just now getting Otherverse to a point where all of us can be in there and that we can really develop things inside Otherverse. So when I think of an impossible business model, I think of a time in history where something did not exist not too long ago that exists today, and it creates an opportunity. And I don't think I can't, and again, I can't imagine it. Doesn't mean that it can't happen, but I can't imagine another vehicle coming along like this that would allow or provide this kind of opportunity for us, right? And at least not in my lifetime. Now, there may be holodecks and holograms and things that were on, the Matrix and Star Wars and things like that may come down the road where it's more immersive than even Web3 is right now. But for my lifetime, I think this is probably one of the most amazing opportunities that has ever been. And again, it's almost an impossible business model. When we look at what we can do, we talk about being able to do convention centers. And I'm going to get into the different levels and the different kinds of things that I see happening because they're already beginning to take place. But when we look at a convention center like Las Vegas or Chicago or Barcelona, Spain, some of the biggest convention centers in the world, they're already built, right? And that structure is that structure. Whatever that structure is, that's the way it's going to be, right? But inside Otherverse, when we build a structure, each structure can be different, and we can have as many structures as we want to have. And so when a company comes to us and says, I want to lease out your convention center, we then begin to design and build that floor the way they want it to look, right? And it doesn't all have to be the same. This is that impossible business model where we can mold and direct everything we do tailored specifically to that individual. And Brian on one call said, Doug, and he was talking to, I think, myself and Peter and maybe a couple of the staff were on the call. I can't remember everybody who was on the call. And we were talking about, and I'm going to get into the meta superposition thing here in a minute, but I was explaining to him how I saw things being able to move around because we were in a quantum space, right? And that we could move booths from one convention center to another, or redesign booths however we want. And he said, we could go way beyond that, Doug. Open up, Doug, open up. Basically is what he was saying. Maybe somebody wants a waterfall in their convention. Maybe they want something unique that we would never, ever be able to be put into a convention center, but maybe that would demonstrate their product better, and we can design that and put that in a booth. The limitations that a physical convention has no effect on us in the virtual, in the quantum world, right? In quantum real estate. So now we think, who's going to adopt a virtual convention center, right? Well, I just opened up your mind in a way that says people will begin to see the value of the virtual center over the physical center because there's no limitations. And Peter goes into his talks and he talks about the cost savings of traveling and the cost savings of building the booths, and all of those are really true and real. But my mind goes to the imagination of what is really possible here in terms of having that booth. We think of things like Autorama or some big car show, right? You go to a car show, you walk around, you see the cars, but in the virtual world, especially when we get VR and the glasses and everything that are coming out, well, why not get into the car and take a test drive? Why not get into the car and look at what the dashboard looks like and how it feels to be in that car, right? So the things that we will be able to do in the virtual world can never ever be done in a way that we can do it. And so that to me is super exciting. Many different layouts, many different styles, many different things going on in that convention center. We also we'll talk about, different rooms, right? So we can have a main showroom that you're seeing here. And in lots of conventions, you want to be able to break out with special people that you're doing a meeting with, and you want to have special rooms. So we can design anything. Again, we could design smaller rooms for meeting. We could design a different room. This could be a whole room. And this is one of the things that Brian, I think, got really excited about. This could be a whole room. You got your regular, let's say somebody's got a pretty big booth. They do a 40 by 40 booth, right? But they want to have a room that looks like their office back in New York or back wherever their office is. We can design a portal like you do in Otherverse right now. When you go through the portal, you go into the beach area, you go into the theater area, you go into the dance floor area. You can go into different places. Maybe they want to have a portal in their booth that takes them to a completely different area that's more representative of their brand or what they're doing. Nothing that we can't do to meet a brand's needs, right? And have that experience for the person that's coming to see that brand to be so immersive that they think they're blown away, right? It's just an experience that they can't have, again, in the physical world, but there's no limitations to our imagination and our minds in the virtual world or in the quantum real estate world that we're developing. Now, that's going to be true for the convention center. That's going to be true for esports and different kinds of gaming areas and educational areas. I've talked about, thinking about having an educational area where maybe Tesla, you guys like who Tesla was and what he was inventing, everything that we know about Tesla, we could create a room that's just Tesla's laboratory, right? And people could go into that room, sit down with Tesla, talk to Tesla. AI could take over who Tesla was because we can feed AI everything about Tesla. Now, when you're interacting with that character, you're actually interacting with what Tesla may have said when you ask Tesla questions. And I think, Peter made a point today when we were talking, and I think it was a really good point. Metaverse came out, and it was very very rudimentary in terms of the characters weren't very sophisticated. They, for real use in business or real use in, I think, education or anything we almost do, they're not real characters. They're not real like avatars like we would want to see and have, right? And so metaverses kind of took a little slowed down just a little bit, right? Because Facebook came out and did what they did, drove a lot of excitement, but weren't able to perform and produce quick enough to keep that excitement, I think. And so a lot of people shifted to AI. And I'm really into AI, and all of you guys that know me know that I'm really into AI. So they all shifted kind of to AI, and AI is kind of getting this kind of front runner kind of exposure right now. But what I think is really going to happen is the marrying of the two. When we marry the metaverse, otherverse, and the potentials of all the things that we can do with that with AI, now those two become a powerhouse. And we think of the booths, right? So if I'm doing a convention and I'm the CEO of the company, like I do a convention and I take insights to a convention, okay? I'm the CEO, founder of Insights. I have to be in that booth to answer questions or to meet with clients or meet with people. I have to physically be there. In this world, I can feed AI everything about insights. Everything that I've built, programmed, thought. In fact, AI knows most of everything because I can ask AI about insights now, and it knows what insights is. Not perfect, but it knows what insights is, right? But I could feed it everything, so it knows everything. And that AI could be me inside my booth talking about insights to anybody that came in, right? And so the power of marrying those two together, super powerful. And that's where we're going. And we're going to go to other things like we're going to have our own ability to have rooms for insights, for Web3, for JBean, for all the products that we do. We're going to create an environment, and this is super important for you guys, okay? And I kind of brushed over this last time. And I want to think about, as opportunities come into crypto, they can come into crypto, new coins coming out, new NFTs coming out, new things in Otherverse or new things in metaverses, new things in meme coins or whatever that is that's coming, right? We can build, and this is what you're looking at here. We're going to build a space. It's going to be kind of Web3, everything that we've done. We'll have our own, JBean room. We may have our own True Badger room. We may have our own rooms, right? Like I just showed you. But we're going to have a main floor where people can get together and talk about projects. We're actually going to try to invite 5 to 10 of the top influencers. And if you are a top influencer and you're hearing this, then you need to reach out to us, right? We're going to invite some of the top influencers in the crypto space to have their own offices on this floor so that they can intermingle with people and they can bring their people to this environment and have a lot of influence on not just their people, but hopefully millions of more people through this relationship or through this environment, right? The key is that when you think about having influencers and people attracted to this particular floor on the convention center, and this will be a floor on the convention center, when you think about this floor, right, the first people that are going to get the opportunities to take advantage of what's coming in the future and be the first to hear about it could potentially be the people that are in this convention center or on this floor, because we'll post a list of potential talks that are going to come up where we have a room built, like you're seeing, where we have a list of guest speakers, maybe speaking all the times during the day, right? And you pick which ones you want to go listen to because there's a new NFT coming out or there's a new coin coming out and you want to hear about that coin. Well, we'll have the founder of the coin or one of their representatives of the coin or the NFT actually on a board that says at 2:00 today in Bitcoin room, right? We could have multiple rooms. We could have Insights room, True Badger room, Bitcoin room. We could have multiple rooms like this. We're not limited on the number of rooms that we can have, right? And at 2:00 today, they're going to be talking about XYZ coin, and you've heard a lot about it, and you want to see what it's all about. You could go to the presentation and be there. Ask questions, raise your hand. They can actually see you and you can see them. It's not like being on a Zoom call, right, where you just have somebody presenting like I am. We're actually in a room. I'd be standing on the stage. I'd be looking at the stage. I could see you guys, right? We could have somebody running around. Corey could be running around like he did in Orlando and stuff with his microphone taking questions, right? And people could ask questions. We could answer questions directly. Completely unique experience, guys. And when we think about the NFTs, and I'll go here before I get into the next portion of this. When we think about the NFTs, right now we're only talking about the floor space of the convention center. And I'm going to go through this in some detail. But when I think about all of the things that you and I can own part of the floor space of the convention center. I could own a number of these seats in a presentation room. So anytime anybody's doing a presentation, they lease out the room or however we're going to do that part of the contract, right? I could say, okay, yeah, I want to lease out some of my seats, like I want to lease out the floor, and I want to get paid for that. Okay. When I look at the room like this, I can say there's billboards all over the room. These are going to be maybe like trading charts, but in the convention centers, there'll be billboards all over the room, different places for advertising to take place all over the room, right? So I can actually own a portion of a billboard. I can own seats in a convention area for people to talk and speak and learn about things. I can own different aspects of this built out convention center, and all of those will be NFTs, right? There'll be ways for you to actually profit potentially from owning space or owning property in a convention center. So when I look at the NFTs, and I'm going to go through how each NFT works. And this is the area that probably is going to be a little bit confusing at first, but once you hear it and you understand the terminology, it becomes really simple, right? One of the key words that's going to be unique for everybody is the word shard, okay? I talked about having multi-dimensions, multi-instances, and Brian goes, no, Doug, you can't do that and that because that means this in a metaverse contract and this means this in a metaverse contract, and we can't use those terms because of legal, this and that. But he said the term we can use is shards, right? So when we think of a shard, we think of maybe like a broken piece of glass. Those are shards. So it's the same thing, but multiple pieces, right, of the same thing. In this case, a shard is a 10 by 10 floor, not the booth, the floor space, 10 by 10 floor space. And that is a shard. So NFT number one is a single shard, single location at one time. Now, I'm going to get into a term called meta superposition. It's something that I came up with working with AI and quantum physics on how these boosts can move around, okay? Very unique in the space. But the shard, NFT1, and Rhonda came up with the name, I think, Meta Shards, and we may end up changing the name from NFT1 to MetaShard 1. I don't know, the team is still talking about that. But so whether it's MetaShard 1 or NFT 1, you'll know that it's a single space, single location, okay? And here's how that works. When I have a single space, this is going to be the World Trade Fair or the World Crypto Fair or whatever name we come up with. Brian's got a couple of names he likes for that. This top floor is where all of our booths and shards are going to be, and it's going to be like a giant trade show running all the time where people can come in and see products and get introduced to products. And maybe you're running like a Teespring business where you're selling t-shirts and then having Teespring print them and ship them for you. And people are actually coming in with their with their avatars, with their correct measurements, right? And they can actually try on one of your shirts and see if they like it. And if they like it, then they can order it and then Teespring can ship it. There's all kinds of businesses that are going to run on this floor. There'll be office spaces on this floor. There'll be retail. There'll be meeting rooms on this floor. There'll be all kinds of activities constantly going on this room. And I think it was Rhonda that asked me about, well, how about the LA Garment District, Los Angeles Garment District? Could we have a floor with just garment and shows where people are walking down the runway in new outfits and people are presenting their new clothing line? We can do all of that, right? And so when you have a single shard, an NFT one, it means it can reside in one place at a time. That's it. Can't reside in two. We'll get to that in a minute. But if I have a single shard and somebody wanted to open up a convention center on this floor and they needed floor space, right? I could shut down my booth because I have a single shard, right? I could shut down my booth for 3, 4, 5 days, however long this convention is going to run, right? And I could choose to allow my shard to be part of the lease contract for this convention. So I could get paid, right? I don't negotiate the contract. I don't do any of that type of stuff. We're going to have a third party, right? We're going to hire a company. A friend of ours, Aggie, this is what she does for a living. We'll be talking to her and others, but we're going to have a third party company that actually manages the convention centers and brings the convention centers the conventions to our convention center. So you don't have to go out and find them. I don't have to go out and find them. All you have to do is make the decision, and this decision is yours. You stay in control of your asset, right? We don't control it. You control it. You'll know the terms of the lease and how much they're going to pay per 10 by 10 square foot. And you go, yeah, they're going to pay enough. It's worth me shutting down my Teespring business for a couple of days, and I'll lease out my 10 by 10 floor space. When we get to the billboards and advertising NFTs, where somebody like Microsoft or Adidas or somebody needs a big billboard, right? They'll need to rent billboard space. It'll work the same way. You'll have a piece of a billboard that will be maybe a sign attached to your booth that's in the main floor, right? But when that showroom comes, you can say, okay, take my 4x6 sign that's attached to my booth and make it part of a bigger billboard that Microsoft or Adidas or somebody Nike wants to have a billboard. And so now I can get paid for my billboard space. Lots of ways we're going to figure out how to make money through this. But again, NFT number 1 is a single shard. It can only reside in one place at one time. Okay, so I can either be here, or I can be here, or I could be over here, but I can't be at all of them at the same time. NFT number 2 is really a single shard also. This is where it gets a little quantum physics, right? And this is the cool thing about quantum real estate. And this is the thing that once you begin to envision and see these things, it blows your mind, right? I can have a NFT 2 that's a single shard, but it can be in multiple locations simultaneously. Okay, that's in quantum physics, that's called superposition. And here we've named it meta superposition because my shard can exist simultaneously in 2 different locations. Okay, and that's just having fun with the metaverse, and that's having fun with this new dynamic quantum reality that we're dealing with, just letting our minds expand and say, wow, how many things can I do, right? So NFT number 2, let's say back to your Teespring business, you have it running here, and this convention comes along and says, hey, we need space. Well, your floor space can exist in 2 places simultaneously. So you don't have to shut down your Teespring business, right? You can keep it running here, and you can use your meta superposition, your second instance, and we can't use that word, but your second shard on this floor at the same time. They can exist in both places simultaneously. Well, while this convention's running, now this is the other thing that kind of you gotta open up and understand, right? While this thing is running, right, you got your Teespring business coming up here, but somebody contracts with us for this convention room down here, okay? And they're going to pay a lot of money, okay? And you go, well, I'm going to shut down my Teespring business for a couple of days, and I'm going to let this shard meta superposition be used down here. So I have this one on this floor still running, and I move this one from here to here for a short time. When this show's done, I can reopen my Teespring business because I have that back available to me. Okay. So when I have NFT number 2 or MetaShard 2, when I have that, I can have my space existing in 2 places simultaneously, and I can turn one off, move it to another, and I can move it around however it needs to be used and however I can best make money with it. Okay. Then we get to the final one, which is NFT number 3. It's 5 shards. Okay. And it may end up being called MetaShard 5. Kind of, I don't know how Rhonda came up with 5 for that, but she did. But yeah, maybe called MetaShard 5, right? And it's the same thing. I can have my Teespring business going, but I'm going to have one shard here. There's 1. I'm going to have a shard here 2. I'm going to have a shard here 3. And I'm going to have a shard over here 4. I could have all 5 of my shards working for me at the same time. Now let me go one step farther. Okay. When I got all 5 of them in flow working for me, and let's say this convention center needs a lot of space, and we don't have enough NFTs to fill all that space. So it creates another opportunity for you that if you have your Teespring business running, if we need additional space and have run out of NFTs to fill that space, you could shut down your Teespring business and have 2 of your shards running in this convention to fulfill that need. So again, it's to me, it's kind of mind-blowing when you really think about how we can actually use all of these shards and in the combination. And you think of the billboards the same way, you think of the meeting rooms the same way, everything that maybe a theater room the same way, everything that we come out with for the convention center will have a multi-dimension meta superposition type effect and be able to be used where needed, when needed, and you stay in control of that asset by selecting which conventions you want to participate in. Okay, super exciting. All right, so now there's some bonuses. Okay, and I'm going to go through the bonuses. There is a double shard bonus. Okay, and there'll be 200 of those given out randomly when you buy your NFTs. There'll be so many of them that are, I think it's 66 that are dedicated to NFT 1, 66 to NFT 2, and 68 to NFT 3. If that adds up to 200, then that's the right number. But because those are different contracts, they're split out for you. So there'll be so many of them given to NFT 1 randomly, so many to NFT 2 randomly, and so many to NFT 3 randomly. What does that do? If I have an NFT 1 that has a single shard, it doubles it. I have 2 shards. If I have an NFT or a multi-shard 2, and that's 2 shards, it doubles that to 4. Okay. If I have an NFT 3, 5 shards, or MetaShard 5, right? I start with 5 shards. If I get this, I got 10. Okay. Super big bonus. Right now, I don't only participate in a convention, I own a big portion of that convention, right? I become a major player and how conventions can move and how my shards can be used. It becomes super exciting. So that's bonus one. Bonus two, a little bit different. It's meeting rooms. I showed you one of the meeting rooms potentially, right? So a lot of people, a lot of businesses that come in, they want to have a dedicated meeting room. It could be a small meeting room, it could be a big meeting room, right? They want to have a dedicated meeting room to be able to meet with people. Well, if you got this bonus, you could have a meeting room attached to one of your shards. Now, this is important. This bonus, if I have the 5 shard NFT, okay, or meta shard, if I have the 5, I don't get this on all 5 of them. I don't get 5 meeting rooms. I get 1 meeting room on 1 shard. But that meeting room is dynamic, and it can be moved to any one of my open shards, right? It doesn't have to stay attached to a specific shard, but I got a shard that's available and somebody wants a meeting room, then I can see what my lease rate would be for the booth or for the square footage, and I can see what my lease rate that was negotiated for the meeting room, and I can say, yep, I want to do that, sign me up, right? And now you've taken ownership of that utility and you've agreed to lease it out. That's bonus number 2. Bonus number 3 is, and I got to go through this a couple of ways here so everybody gets this. It's placement, right? It is a premium placement bonus. And so when we think of, and Peter talked about this maybe a little bit because he's done a lot of conventions also, but when you go into a convention, that first big main booth you run into coming off of the main doors where you get your little badge and sign up and you walk in, that's a premium spot. Corner units are usually premium spot. The center space is usually a premium spot. Premium spots are just that. They usually get more money for being a premium spot. With this bonus, one of your shards, now if I have a meta shard 5, I don't get it on all 5. Okay, I want to be really clear. It's one of your shards in your group has the premium floor space bonus that you can use to lease out for that premium space that is being requested. Super good bonus, right? Super exciting. And again, there's 50 of these given out. I didn't say this on the last one. For the meeting rooms, there's 50 of those are divided out between NFT 1, 2, and 3 the same way. And in this one, there's 50 of them given out here. So one of the other things that I didn't cover in the last time, is the affiliate commission structure. We're going to have 3 NFTs, right? And we've talked about maybe the different names. We're going to go through on the last slide, the affiliate commissions. Okay, so hang in there until that, because that's pretty exciting. So what does all of this cost, right? On the chat, I'm going to take a breath here, and I just want to know on the chat, how many people own either a trunk, metaverse trunk, otherverse trunk, or an Avigami? Give me a 1 if you own one or the other. Okay. So a lot of you, and just about all of you. Okay. So, all right. So this is an important talk for you guys, right? And Chris, you don't get a double down if you own both. Right? That's a nice one. That'd be good. If on the NFT 1, right? Let me expand this so I can see it too. It's an $850 retail. We're going to sell it to you guys and to everybody that comes through the site for $250. It's about 70% off, $600 savings. But for everybody that doesn't have the trunk or the Avigami, right? They can do a fast action, get an additional discount for $225 or 73% off of that shard 1. If you own And in the Avagami or the trunk, you can take advantage of two discounts. You can take advantage of the fast time discount and the fact that you own one of these two and get it for 187, 77% off or $663 savings. If you let the timer run out, okay, you can still get the trunk and Avagami discount, but only that'll be 212. So it costs you a little bit because you hesitated and let that timer run out. Don't do that. When you open up the site, and I'll show you the site, when you open up the site, that timer is going to start. So be ready to take action when you open up that site to be able to get this discount. If you do the NFT number 2, it's a $1,700 retail. We're going to sell it for $442 out to everybody. Fast start bonus is $398, 76% off. Little bit more. Now I want you to see 73 off here, 76 off here, a little better buy, right? If you have both of these, it's $332, 80% off, $1,369 savings. And then again, if you snooze a little bit, you'll pay a little bit more. This is the biggest savings. We took percentages, and you can see that, this one goes from 73 to 76. This goes from 76 to 80 and 80 to 87, almost 88% off, right? 87.9% off. So this is the biggest savings. $4,200 retail, $935 on the launch. Fast start, $842, 80% savings. Fast start with Avagami or trunk, which all of you guys have, $514. Okay, 80, almost 88%, $3,736 savings, right? But here's the thing I want you to notice. This is 5 shards, $500. That's basically almost $100 a shard. Up here, you're almost $200 a shard. This is half of what this is, okay? So by far the biggest savings and the best value if you can do it. And again, there's another privilege or benefit that comes with NFT 3 or MetaShard 5. There's a benefit that comes with this. On the main showroom, that World Trade Fair showroom, there's going to be premium access space there too. If you own one of these on that floor, you automatically qualify for the premium show floor space. Okay, that's what Brian wanted to do, and Peter and I thought that was a great idea. Now, that premium show space that you get on that for that main showroom where you do your Teespring business or whatever you're going to do does not translate down to the convention floor. The only way to get premium floor space on the convention floor right now, unless we decide to change that, is to actually get one of the NFTs that has that bonus premium attached, okay? So here we go. I promised you this. We have an affiliate commission, so you can drive your friends to this. You can get them into the quantum real estate world. For everybody you bring in, you'll get 8% of whatever they do, whatever they buy. And if they bring somebody in, you're going to get 4% indirect. So we have a direct 8% and a 4% indirect. A total 12% is going to be paid out in the affiliate commission. So I hope I painted a picture tonight that opens up your minds, because this is just the beginning of everything that we're going to do and everywhere we're going to go. And to me, this ties so much of Insights and True Badger and everything that we've done. It ties it all together into a world that we can all participate in and build our assets from there. So that's all I got. Peter, I see you're in the room, brother.
How you doing, buddy?
I am having fun, man.
Excellent. Exciting. So, Yeah, guys, we are very deep every day into doing stuff for Otherverse. And we were introduced through one of our partners to a gentleman, Sam Huber. Sam has been in the metaverse space since Decentraland. They built a pretty decent sized company, and they do not have a metaverse. They are simply building experiences in other people's metaverses. Okay. Their company was just purchased for $450 million. The company that purchased them is doing stuff in metaverses for other people. They don't have their own metaverse. It is currently valued at $5.1 billion. Do not let the people tell you that metaverse is over with. It's done. I'm going to tell you guys what happened here was that metaverse was just getting started. It was in its early infancy stages. There were some things that were starting to get launched. They weren't working perfectly. Mark Zuckerberg changed the name of Facebook, and what he did is he overheated the market prior to. So normally markets grow into each other, right? They grow. Same thing that happened during the dot-com bubble. It got so hot that eventually it bursted, right? Because it got so big too fast, and people, we overdrove it, right? And it bursted, right? Same thing happened in metaverse, but here's the key. The smart people, when the bubble burst in .com, said, holy crickets, this is an opportunity for me to position myself to be part of something that was going to revolutionize and change the world, and it was going to infiltrate every aspect of our lives. We have that same exact opportunity today in the metaverse space. Metaverse bubble popped. All the attention went to AI. Everybody's looking at AI. They took their eye off the ball, except everybody hasn't. We've been doing the research. We've been looking. There are patents being filed. There are trademarks being filed by major corporations in the metaverse space. They understand that it's going to develop, that the technology is moving forward. Another company, the Saudi Arabian fund that they have, just invested $900 million in a company that's developing goggles for the metaverse. This is just the beginning. And I got to tell you, there will be companies that will come along and they will look at sectors in the metaverse, and they will start early and they will plant their flags. That's what Sam Huber did, who just sold his company to this other company for $450 million. He focused on Decentraland and Sandbox. He went to corporations and just simply built stuff for them in there. And he placed himself well, and boom, he sells his company for an absolute fortune, right? Who is going to be, and I'm going to let you guys guess who it is, right? Maybe it starts with an M. Who is going to be an early adopter in showroom space, in being able to hold conventions in the metaverse? First of all, in order to have successful conventions in the metaverse, unless you're having furry conventions, right? You have to have realistic looking avatars, right? Absolutely flat out. There's no other way to do it. There's no way you would take seriously a cartoon dragon across from you negotiating a deal. And I've done enough negotiations, been to enough conventions, that there's no way you would take it seriously if you went to the booth, unless it's like Comic-Con or something, right? And the salesman was dressed up as, Snoopy, right? It doesn't work. You need realism. So who is the leader in that space? Otherverse. Who is MetaForge's partner? Not only partner, they own part of it, right? It's being formed through it, and right? So we have the opportunity to be that leader in the space, because we're starting now, and we're going to go through, and we're going to start growing, and we're going to perfect that model, the technology, everything that's happening in that space. And that's the opportunity that's in front of us right now. We're basically saying, hey, this is going to be huge. You guys will see, I'll speak about this at the virtual con, but look, it is absolutely, positively, no doubt in my mind, metaverse is the center of Web3. All of Web3 will revolve around metaverse. And it's really simple for anybody to understand why. Because all of Web3 is digital. It's all about digital. Nothing outside of digital, right? It's people coming from the outside and entering into digital products. DeFi, right? Decentralized finance in a digital fashion. So if I said, where's the best place that a digital idea, concept, including AI, okay, all this stuff, talk about AI, where is the best place that it will function? To me, if I said, okay, there's the real world, yes, you can use AI and it will function inside there. And then there's a digital world. Which of these two would Web3 AI function best in and be the most effective? It's a no-brainer in the digital world. That is the reason why metaverse will be the whole center of it. What is Web3? Web3 is an immersive web, right? It's an immersive web. It's where we're getting to participate, where we're immersing into it's flat web, immersive web. What's the immersive web? It's the metaverse. I don't know. I think that's a pretty simple concept to understand. So as somebody who's saying, hey, I want to catch the future, I want to be involved in it early, then where do I need to place myself? I need to place myself in opportunities that have the potential to develop into the category dominate players in a space. And that's what MetaForge is going to do. It's going to enter into the rental space in the metaverse, where we have partners who purchase these shards, and then we find rental opportunities, connect the two together on our platform, make it super simple, super easy. Click, click, you rented it out and you generate revenue. And the great thing is it's permanent ownership that you have of this NFT, and the NFT is sellable on the open market. So at some point you go, you know what? I don't want to be a landlord anymore. I'm tired of making all this money. I'm just going to sell my NFT on the marketplace. I'll let somebody else, I'll let Corey make all the money. He needs it. You know, that head polish is expensive. They're polishing his dome, so he needs it for that purpose. So guys, great opportunity here. If it's in your budget, if it's with it, come in with us. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. You'll start seeing about a week after we launch, maybe 2 weeks, you'll start seeing the development. We're hiring an exclusive team at Otherverse to build out this convention center. We're not using people who already have other jobs. The people that will be hired will exclusively work every single week, every Friday. We're going to release a new video. That is the work they got done that week. You're going to watch your convention center get built from the ground up, right? You're going to watch it. You're going to watch the space develop. You're going to see all the cool features. Because remember, this is in digital space, so we can do some really cool stuff, right? You're going to watch it develop. You're going to watch it build. And then over the next few months, we will hire a person who has done nothing but spend their entire life booking, selling, and managing conventions in order for them to take their contacts, their connections, their understanding of it, and then start booking out these conventions. You know, maybe next year we book who knows how many, but as this builds and as these two meet, eventually I can see us booking, you know, at least 1% of all the conventions in the world. Right? And that is 2 to 3 million conventions a year take place in the world. Because remember, this is global. It's not just in the United States. We can book conventions all over the world. Right? So think about if we at some point we're booking 1/10 of a percent of the conventions in the world, because we become a leader in this space. I think as a leader, maybe we're booking 1 or 2% of the conventions out there. Think about how many conventions that is on a daily basis. Some with a few hundred booths, some with a few thousand booths. And here's the real big key is, so I've done a lot of shows in my businesses, and you're like, well, man, I'd love to get a 20 by 20 booth. But then they go, well, that's $15,000, $20,000. And then you think, well, I got to build out that booth. And you go to the people that build the booths for you, and they're like, well, that'd be $40,000. And then you find out you need union people to set up your booth. So that's another 20,000. So then you go, no, I'll just take a 10 by 10. Right. And you settle for a 10 by 10. You're squishy at the whole convention, but you settle for a 10 by 10. I believe what is going to happen is if you have a regular show that's 1,000 booths, it'll be 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 booths of space that will be rented, because people will be able to build bigger booths because they're going to be digital, and you don't need the setup and you don't need a lot of that stuff. So, and we talked about this when we were laying this out, that instead of getting a 10 by 10, somebody's going to get a 40 by 40. They're going to rent 4 booths because they can do it for a lower price, and they'll be able to display more stuff. They'll be able to do more cool things. So we believe that if a booth is 1,000 booths in a traditional show, it'll be 3,000, 4,000, maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 booths in a virtual show, which is going to give what? Way more rental opportunities to the people who own these 10 by 10 shards. In, you know, so you're like, hey, this person's going to rent out 4 booths, boom, 4 rentals just right there, boom.
Yeah. You know, at the prices that you did on the physical locations at, you know, 100 grand or so, I could do a 2 by 2 square foot and just stand in one spot and pass out flyers.
Yes.
That's about all I could afford in that.
Trust me, there's some shows where we said, you know what, it's too expensive to buy a booth here. We'll just go and hand out flyers over the show, right? Because you can buy
I got to confess, I got caught doing that once at Comdex.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Sorry, sir.
We got some questions here. If we buy a 5-pack and the convention is booked, how do we pick who can sell their spaces? We're going to have a rotator built, guys. And so, you know, you rented this one. Next time somebody else rents, If we're packing out, then everybody's renting all the time, but it'll still follow a sequence, okay?
Yeah, it'll follow all the way through. Everybody will get one rental, then it starts again, and everybody gets another rental, and then it starts again. But again, if we're able to do what we think, you know, we'll have 5, 6, 10 conventions a day happening. And these conventions run, right, 4, 5, 6, 8 days. So you'll have literally at some days 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 conventions going at the same time as this moves forward and as the technology continues to develop and people realize that you can get way more people to a virtual convention than you can a real convention. Way less staff that you need in order to do it. You can still run your daily business. You're going to save money. Oh, and by the way, we're going to reduce greenhouse gases, right? The impact that we have on the environment, because we're not flying places and traveling. We're not doing all the crazy stuff that's necessary. And when I build out my booth, right, the people who rent your space, they're going to be able to do some really super cool stuff that you can't do in the real world because it's physically impossible, but it's possible in these situations. So a waterfall in my booth, right? You know, I'm a relaxation company and I'm able to build a full, you know, relaxation place in my booth with palm trees. Or maybe I'm a travel agent and I can build, you know, rent 4 booths or 5 booths, and I can build one like it's a tropical vacation, one like it's Italy, one like it's wherever, and people would be able to go and explore and learn about it. Or a resort who's able to build out a lot of cool stuff. So that the application of being virtual will be a heck of a lot better. And in real world, you can't hire AI assistants because there's no robots yet, right? In here, I would be able to train AI people so I can be in my booth 8, 9 hours talking to people. AI's listening. It's learning from me. I leave the booth. Oh, how many people have ever worked at a booth and everybody disappears and you have to go to the bathroom? And you're like, come on, come back, dude. Come on. You're like texting saying, hey, when are you coming back? I got to, right? You don't have to worry about that in a virtual booth. You can use the restroom and you're in good shape. Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, Drew asked us, Peter, Is it a 10 by 10 square or a 10 by 10 cubic? You're limiting your thoughts, Drew. Think of maybe a 10 by 10 quadhedron. Okay.
Yes.
Open up. No, it's a 10 by 10 floor space, buddy. Okay.
And then
How long
build
is
on
this?
it, right, guys?
Yeah.
You know, the height and that type of stuff. There's things that are not as limited as normal that will
Yep.
be able to be developed and built in a booth.
Mind-boggling stuff. How long is the timer? I think we're anticipating setting the timer for the fast bonus discount to 2 minutes. No, I'm kidding. It'd be 96 hours, I think is what we're going to set it at. So you got plenty of time.
4 days.
4
days
yeah.
from when you visit the site to make your purchase to get the discount.
Yeah.
So really, I wouldn't visit the site until you're ready to make your discount.
Right.
But discounts for the holding the NFTs does have a time frame on it, so you're going to want to move on this as quickly as possible.
How is there a limit to the amount of NFTs I can purchase? No, there's not a limit to the amount of NFTs that you can purchase. As long as that timer's going and this is another effect, you want to get in and buy a lot. Here's how the quantity is going to work, guys. You're going to come on and your limitation, there's one limitation and I'll explain it, but it's a contract. There's 3 separate contracts. Contract for NFT 1, contract 2, contract 3. When I'm buying, I say, okay, I want to buy a certain number of NFT 1s. And I want to buy a certain number of NFT 3s. I want a combination, whatever. When I come on, I buy my NFT 1s. I can hit the plus key. Feel free to buy all 1,000. Peter and I are very good with that. But you just hit the plus key. You buy as many NFT 1s as you want to buy. You have to come back in, okay, and then hit NFT 3, right? Because you can't buy them at the same time. They're different contracts. So, but then you can hit the plus key on NFT 3 and buy all 1,000 of those if you want. So, but there's no limitation on the number you can buy, just how you buy them has a sequence that has to be done. When will credit card be available? We're going to launch first, hopefully this week, with crypto. Okay,
Crypto
then
first.
CrossMint and ACH will come probably next week. Okay.
Yeah, probably Tuesday of next week.
Yeah. And then let's see. That was a credit card question. Marty, I don't know about Google's. Maybe we'll partner, Peter, with somebody that will give all of our people a discount on the glasses and, the kind of VR stuff that we do. Okay. And
guys, I want you to remember, we have a partnership with Otherverse. Otherverse, once the software keeps launching, will become the leader in the space. Every company that's doing anything will come to Otherverse and want to partner with them, which means they're going to go, oh, you want to talk to our partners, MetaForge, right? And offer whatever it is through that. Okay. So yeah. If there's anything out there to be had, we literally have the whole power of Otherverse helping move the needle for us, right? As they're putting together deals and as they're putting together things. So yeah, we have just a huge advantage there.
Yeah. Otherverse is the gorilla in the room, guys. Literally. Yes. Yeah. And we're behind him going, go, Brian, go, Brian. We're Brian's cheerleaders, right? So, and Kenny, yes, I think I answered that. You can buy as many as you want, as long as it's within that one NFT. You buy those, and then if you want to buy a combination of something different, you can do that.
Yeah, I don't believe we have a limit on ACH, but we do on the credit card side, guys. If you're using the credit card, it'll be either 1,500 or 2,500 that you can do at a time. So it might only be like 2 $500 something packages because 3 would take it over. You'd have to do that as separate transactions. So if you're using credit card, they'll be at ACH. Sharon, I don't think there's a limit. Is there on the ACH? I don't think so. We've done some pretty big transactions there.
Okay. Yeah, Sharon can answer that.
All good there. All good there.
All good.
If there was any limit, it would be on what your bank allowed you to do.
Okay.
For that kind of transaction.
So you guys are going to be upset at Rhonda. She wants the corner bathroom. And I can see
By the
that
food
she,
court.
I
Huh.
loved having a booth in the back. I like the one at the front too. We usually had one of the main booths right in the front area, but we'd always tuck one back by the bathroom in the food court because that's where the line was. You're standing
Yeah.
there waiting, you know,
I-
for your hot dog or whatever, and you know, people are coming by.
I misread this, Rhonda. I
Okay.
thought what you wanted was an NFT for the bathroom.
No, that's
And I thought you were going to have a door and you were going to have
Huh?
virtual Euthix tokens that they had to
Well,
put in to go in to use the
to use
bathroom.
the bathroom. You know, you've just said it earlier, you know, Doug, remove the limits of your thinking. Everything is possible.
There you
Everything,
go.
anything and everything is possible.
There you
And
go.
we just need to
All
think
right.
outside the box or the bathroom, or
All right.
whichever comes first. I guess. I don't know.
That's right. Okay. Any other questions? Did you guys learn any more tonight? Was it, are you guys as excited as we are? Give me a 1 if you're super excited.
Oh,
I
buddy,
am.
did you go over the commissions? The commissions, if paid in crypto, are done through smart contract, so it'll be immediate.
Yeah.
If
Yes,
they're
I
done
didn't say
through
that.
Crossmint or ACH, they'll have to be done manually, guys, just so you know.
Yeah. So make sure everybody heard what Peter just said. When people pay with crypto, we're setting up the commissions at 8% and 4% to go directly to your wallet immediately. If they pay ACH or Crossmint, which is credit card, that'll take probably up to 72 hours to get those payments to you guys, because that's got to go through a manual system. Okay. Whew.
All right. That's it, guys.
It's been a great Monday. So
we're gonna have another call Wednesday night, guys. We're mainly gonna do an update on some things we've been working on and stuff like that. We'll do a quick DFY update. Hopefully, we're announcing that the upgrade for the next upgrade, software upgrade for Otherverse is done. Wednesday night should be available Thursday or Friday. Huge upgrade and where we're moving to there. And then we'll have some other updates and stuff like that. We'll be sharing some things that you guys might want to do to maybe pick up some spare crypto on the side. But that'll be Wednesday night at 6 o'clock PST. We'll be doing that. And we're excited. So, Doug, did you say when we're going live, or we're estimating?
We didn't say. We'll probably announce that on Wednesday.
Wednesday, we'll let you guys know.
But I'm showing you guys
live
that
with the quantum real estate.
The website, these colors are going to change. Corey just, insisted that the
No, it wasn't
side
just
of us
Corey.
come out.
We agree with Corey.
We agree with Corey, and we redesigned the colors, so you guys will get to see that on Wednesday. And I also want you to see that, we do have the sales page linked already. No timers, no coins available. We're getting very close. So it'll all be here. So hold your breath. I think we can hold it long enough because it is coming like a freight train, guys. So thank you, everybody. I'll leave it to Corey and Peter. This is their call. And
is it really?
I gotta say that, Rhonda, just out of courtesy.
Yeah, Chris is asking if there'll be affiliate links. Yes, there will be.
Yeah.
One of the things that you
through
can
a back office, guys.
And the tracking of all your affiliate commissions and all of your affiliate sales is already built. That's already done. So
that's how good they are. That's how good they are. And what you can do between now and Thursday when we go live and launch is make sure that you've got your currency ready to go. We're going to post the chart with the prices in the Discord so you can take a look at that discount structure and the timing and everything. So you'll have a picture of that. And you need to you were using, I'm sorry, same thing, Doug. We've got these massive wins and I've been sneezing this entire phone call, this whole entire call. So I can't remember. It's stable coin in
USDT, Ethereum, BSC, and Solana on either one of those three chains. You'll need, in order to get your NFT, you'll need a Solana wallet. We recommend Phantom Wallet for that. So you can download a Phantom wallet, get that set up with
Yeah.
your, keep your seed words. Don't share them with Rhonda. I did mine once and everything in my wallet disappeared. I don't know what she did with it.
Yeah, that'll teach
It's
you.
okay. It was Rhonda. I didn't
I'm-
mind her taking all my crypto, but don't share your seed words with even Rhonda. No, I'm
Not
kidding.
even-
She
Not
never
even.
took my crypto because I didn't share my seed words with her.
No, you didn't. No, we try everything we can.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
And-
I am supposed to tell the joke of the day, and the answer is hopefully having him reveal his seed words, but I don't know. Well, now I've tipped the scale. I've told him.
Yeah, now that ain't gonna work. Somebody asked what's going on with the Euthix token, guys. We are in the middle of developing that, and that is going to be launched in the next couple of weeks. Brian will be announcing that, but
Watch their social media. It'll be probably be announced in the next 24 hours when it's launching. So
yeah, we met today on that, and it's also coming like a freight train. So that'll be very, very soon. So
also too, guys, I'll tell you guys, we've started doing a joke a day on our call, and so I'll share a joke with you guys, just a funny. So anyway, you guys know I have trouble going to sleep at night. So the other day I went to sleep early and I actually fell asleep pretty quickly. But the whole time I was sleeping, I was dreaming I was a muffler. And I woke up like an hour later. I'm like, what the heck? Why was I mean, you know how you try to interpret a dream, right? You're trying to figure out what in your life do you need to change, right? So anyway, I finally fell back to sleep. And again, I was dreaming that I was a muffler. And I woke up again and I'm like, man, I'm exhausted.
This is what we have to live with every day, all day.
I'm exhausted. Oh, dude. Yeah, Corey, that's your responsibility, buddy.
Oh no,
Right
he's
Once it came
dad
out,
joke.
they just couldn't take it back.
No, he's Corey's dad joke man all day long. So
And I want to put my foot down now. There will be no tables in Otherverse
there's tables.
that man can get
trust
on.
me, I'm gonna have my you're not even gonna be able to stop me. And this is in the metaverse. My character will be able to do dancing on the ceiling, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm building it in. It'll be able to dance everywhere, anywhere. I will be on top of Corey's head dancing, right?
It's slippery up there.
Yeah.
All that shine I'm putting on it.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us Wednesday
we'll
night.
See you on Wednesday.
We will be doing at least one for if you want to invite people on, because there's an affiliate commission. We'll probably be doing one MetaForge presentation every week for the next 4 or 5 weeks. You can invite people to it. We'll basically recommend them getting a link from you, whoever invited them to it. But we'll start doing one call a week, and we'll be able to share on that call the advancements that we're making. You're going to start seeing pictures, all kinds of stuff about the convention center. So it's going to be very cool.
Did you see Drew's response? He laughed, but it was muffled.
That's a good one. That's quick.
We count on Drew for these things too. Yeah,
Drew's fast.
So many
He's
people,
fast.
and nobody
Yeah,
came up
Drew
with
also
that,
has
Drew.
a question, whether a
Phantom
Phantom
wallet.
wallet desktop or mobile is required, or either or both.
Either or.
Yeah,
Either
yeah.
or,
I think they work the same. Doesn't matter.
There you go, Drew. I know you've asked that a few times too.
But
So.
if you're in doubt, ask AI, Drew. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you.
All right,
Have a great
guys,
Monday
have a
night.
great evening, and we'll see you